Thank you. Senator McLaurin, you are running for the statewide office of Lieutenant Governor, a position that is essential as legislative branch position, except when the Lieutenant Governor is called to step into the shoes of the governor. In your 10 minutes, we've asked you to speak about how you would use the office of Lieutenant Governor to address the issues of housing affordability, education, and the healthcare costs and access.
Okay, it's saying folks on the Zoom call can hear me, but maybe not people in person.
We can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Everybody can hear me. Okay, very good. Well, yes, no, thank you so much for the kind invitation to visit with Camden County NAACP chapter. I have been to Camden County earlier in the campaign for a CD1 forum. I was able to visit the Liberty County NAACP chapter, so I've been around the area and definitely want to come back when my schedule allows. But I just want to say thank you for having me here tonight briefly. The Office of Lieutenant Governor does not have very many, definite descriptions in the Georgia Constitution. There's only a couple things that the Lieutenant Governor role is defined as in the Georgia Constitution. The first is to replace the governor, as you said, if governor died. And second is to be president of the Senate. And so what that means is you have a gavel, you stand up over the Senate, and you call on senators if they've got speeches or, motions to make. And right now, the president of the Senate, the lieutenant governor, has a tremendous amount of authority because the Senate rules say that the lieutenant governor assigns the chairs of committees, right? So basically gets appointments to all powerful committees in the Senate. And that is how the lieutenant governor decides whether bills will advance or be stopped in the Senate. Now, there's a chance the Republicans will try to strip that power away. If they keep the Senate majority, that they might try to change the Senate rules so that the lieutenant governor is not able to advance legislation or stop legislation. But even if they do that, there's three main ways that I want to use that role. The first is messaging, the bully pulpit. It's a statewide office, the second highest office in the state, and it affords you an opportunity to speak directly to voters by way of media. Do you need a second? I'm sorry. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Y'all still got me? Good to go?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, great. So, Lieutenant Governor has to be agile and adapt to shifting circumstances, as you can see. Basically, you stand up on top of the Senate. They either give you power to appoint committee chairs or they don't. If the Senate gives you that power, then you can do a lot on legislation. If they don't, there's still a lot you can do. So the bully pulpit matters a lot, messaging. Democrats, we've been behind for many years on our messaging. We have been not as sharp and as focused on affordability as we could be. The Republicans, granted, they've got red meat that they can throw to everybody, right? And that's why they can sort of cheat in that regard, is that they can divide people and appeal to fear and disunity. But Democrats are trying to right the ship. The national environment has obviously caused a lot of chaos, and there are people who want to make a shift. And so that messaging is going to be really important for Democrats to be able to sharpen up the focus on the things that really matter. The next thing is maneuvering. Procedural know-how. I'm an attorney. Being in control of the Senate, even if you've got a Senate majority that can outvote you, you can still exercise procedure in a meaningful way to try to advance our objectives. And the third thing is fundraising and national attention. Obviously, Georgia is kind of a swing state now. If not kind of, it's the swing state. And it matters a lot what's happening in Georgia. As Georgia goes, so does the national environment. And so I want to bring a lot of attention to Georgia and make sure that we're investing in the right races we need to so that we can build the majorities necessary to advance the future of public policy in Georgia. So those are just a handful of the ways in which the lieutenant governor can have a great impact, regardless of what kind of legislative authority or committee chair appointment authority the lieutenant governor has. And in particular, I was asked about healthcare and about housing. Those are the two biggest issues I've been campaigning on because those are the two biggest cost drivers that most working families are facing. On the housing front, I would like to build a lot more housing. We need all different types of stock of different kinds of stock. We need not just single family homes to own, but we need condos. We need multifamily apartments to rent. We need to end the crush of corporate ownership over housing and make sure that individuals and families can own their own housing and build equity, as opposed to outsourcing those the equity that they're building to a corporation. The other thing that we really need is healthcare, to expand Medicaid and to replace those lost premium subsidies. You may recall at the end of last year that the federal government failed to extend the enhanced Obamacare subsidies that a lot of people were relying on to afford their healthcare premiums. We need to do everything we can to try to replace those lost subsidies at the state level, because we know that around 500,000 Georgians have already lost health insurance since the end of last year. We already had 1.3 million people who were uninsured, and now we're all the way up, I think, to 1.8 million again. And Keisha Shawn Waits, our nominee for insurance commissioner, can back me up on that. I know she's on the call, but we have deepened the crisis of uninsured Georgians that we already had. And so we need to be moving legislation, real solutions in the next year that can stabilize our health insurance picture and stabilize rural hospitals, the ones that are closing in response to this lack of funding, and get us back on the right track. So that would be, I think, the big picture view, 30,000 feet, on how we need to turn the wheel and redirect the ship in the coming year.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.